Good evening, everyone. So, in this series of talk, we go ahead with a very identifiable topic, the stress and the insomnia associated with it. And as always, let's invoke the grace of Lord Dhanvantari, the god of Ayurveda, before we progress. Om Shri Dhanvantaraye Namaha. May the words that flow from this mouth be authentic, scientific, and in accordance with Shastra. So today, when we are taking this topic, and we are going to link it for the first time, not just the Ayurveda, but we're going to approach it in the holistic aspect, adding yoga, and also the spiritual aspect of it. So this is going to be a unique combination. And towards the end of the session, if time permits, we have a small practical aspect along with it. First and foremost, congratulations and best wishes for the 8th International Day of Yoga. And we should, it's a proud moment where Ayurveda has come forward, yoga has come forward, and these sciences, India has never copyrighted them. It's been shared with oneness to all, and that's going to be the crux of what is our fallback. When I say what is our fallback, is when the problem comes, are we panicking? Or we have that fortitude to face it. If our fallback is of all inclusive, it's of oneness, then we get a great strength to rise. But if our fallback is self-centered, selfish, and we become narrow-minded, then we find ourselves limited to face the problem. And that's going to be the topic. How does the stress come? And with stress, there are so many other symptoms that would come. But in today's topic, we're going to take the sleeplessness part of it. With stress, somebody might lose appetite, somebody might eat too much, somebody might have a tummy upset, some aches and pains in the body can trigger. There will be so many factors with the stress that can happen. But today we are going to see stress related with insomnia. And as always, we'll first have a grosser outlook and then go into the subtle aspect. Let me begin my presentation here. So, what is this sleep? When we call it insomnia, is it that you are able to sleep but it's late, or you're not able to sleep at all? But it's also this, but normally like you are not able to hold the sleep and continue or maintain that sleep. You fall out of the sleep easily. Or for some reason, if you wake up in the middle of night, to fall back sleep is a problem. So, or sometimes people, they are just wide awake. They just see the time ticking from 12 to 2 to 2 to 3, and then the morning somewhere it dawns, and then probably some 1 hour, half an hour sleep is there, and then the next day's duty kicks in, and then people have to just get out of the bed and carry about their destined work. Maybe it's dropping the children to school, or cooking something, or running to office, or whatever is the meetings associated at that particular time. So now let's first identify that what are we going to see. So let's see the scope of today's topic. Today's topic is, we are going to relate stress and insomnia. Today's topic, we will not relate so many other things that happens along with the stress to the body, but the answers to it will be hidden with this stress and insomnia aspect. So now, what is the stress? So stress is this overwhelming feeling for not able to cope up with whatever the certain circumstances there. There is a pressure of that circumstance on us physically, emotionally, intellectually. It is our response that we give when this pressure is too much, it's too overwhelming. And so it is not same for everyone. So it is very subjective response. And some people, they do very good under stress. So little bit of stress is an excitement, basically. So that stress is a healthy stress. It's beneficial stress. So the stress aspect, which can be divided as a bad stress, which has got a negative impact on our body, which is what people are suffering. And this eustress. So eustress is a healthy stress, which gives our it makes our mind ticking, and it gives us a motivation to carry out a certain work. We'll see exactly what it is. So in a eustress, when that stress comes, it's motivating you to work. But if it is the stress, that distress, then you just really can't work. You want to run away from there. And it is that stress is not a continuous stress. It just comes for that moment. You've got some exciting work to do, and then yes, you are up and about. But for this stress, it's like a continuing process, and it's a long-term chronic building up continuously, and that person is never happy. This eustress is because we have that strength, or we have that ability to cope with the outer circumstances that have come. So they are not so challenging that we are helpless and hopeless. So that goes in the distress. But in a eustress, it just gives us birth to a probably creativity, or we just needed that so that we could get going. Otherwise, we would be lazing and sitting somewhere in one corner. So it's like an exciting feeling that we get. That's a eustress. And, and because of that eustress, our performance gets better. But exactly opposite is this stress. It causes so much issues in the physical and the mental frame that we just cannot perform. And either we freeze over there, it's a flop situation, or we'll end up fighting with people out over there. And that becomes ugly, probably. Or sometimes we just can't stand that and we want to go away, run away from there. So that's and that physical things are there, like it's a depressing, it's anxiety. Some people might get into panic attack. Some people can have breathing heart difficulties also. So this particular certain amount of stress, which shows energy in our work, which increases our performance, and it leads us to our optimum. That level of stress is up till that eustress, we can call, where we want that in order to get the best out of us. But in a distress, that performance is down the hill graph. There is a burnout for that person. That person just feels exhausted, cannot perform anymore, and then he just finishes. So and the level of stress, as it increases, if the performance is increasing, that is a eustress, that was a necessary. But if the performance dips down totally and the person gets burned out, then we can call that person as stress. So it is our body's response. If it's our mind's response, whether I face the situation and I see to it and I fight to the situation, or I run away from the situation, or whether I'm going to freeze over there. So in that mode, that person will have, a rush of blood circulation. The heart will start pounding very rapidly. There is a palpitation. There will be the face run down kind one, flush will be there on the skin, and the eyeballs will be, the pupils will be, a dilated kind, and the person will be in a panic mode, trembling. But the person who can handle, their mind can take the pressure, they can carry the weight, they feel very excited about that particular stress has come, because that has motivated them to work. So that is the mental strength. If the brain can tolerate that weight, it's a happy situation, and it's not a overwhelming situation. So what if a person can commit, if a person have that control on the situation, if a person has confidence to accept this challenge, these 4 C's, it is the mental toughness. So a stress is subjective. It is depending upon that person's mind, that in that situation, is he making or is he breaking? Is he achieving better? His abilities are exposed, or he's not going to achieve anything. He has an emotional breakdown, and he feels that he cannot take the risk anymore. So we are talking about those people who are not having this capacity in the mind, whose fortitude is so low. They feel negative. There is a sense of inferior complex in them. Those people get stressed very easily. So it's not that happy people don't have problems. So problems will be there in everybody's life, but it is this texture of the mind that is deciding whether under that pressure the person is buckling or the person is blossoming. So sometimes, like if you remember in our childhood, if that exam feeling didn't come, we don't like to study, and that exam feeling should come, and it should, if it's 2 months later, it's still not making any change in us, and it should be like, okay, now it's over 2 weeks, then okay, now I have to, and then that force to study comes in that last 2 weeks, and then we begin to study. I'm not talking about those extra brilliant studious students who are studying all through the year, but these happy-go-lucky who are actually, making all the masti in the class and all, and then towards the end they will sit with the book, and then they will come out with flying colors also. So that feeling, that those butterflies in the tummy, that okay, tomorrow is the viva and I need to, but we knew that all the way that okay, after 3 months or at the end of this term there is a viva, there is an exam, but we still don't do, because that motivation didn't catch us. And then that pressure and that stress comes, and then suddenly, so this experience most of us have had, that a situation which we feel it's under our control, or we have the capacity to control, that is a eustress, and under that only it motivates us. Otherwise, we start pushing, okay, there's this project, okay, I'll do it later. Oh, there's a presentation, I'll do it later. Oh, I have to make the PowerPoints for tonight's talk. Okay, the talk is today, then okay, start making the PowerPoint. Otherwise, it even 1 month ago, and still then nothing happens until that it should come, and okay, you have to do, and now you can't do without it. So you do much better. So that is eustress. But for many, what happens is, when such situation comes, they don't know what to do. Then they say, I'm having a headache, I'm having a tummy pain. So they start telling. So physical symptoms start coming out. My heart is aching, there is a palpitation, now that fear is coming, and tomorrow is the thing. So now tonight I can't just fall asleep, and I feel so exhausted, and I start trembling and they're shaking. And in some people who have this tendency, probably their blood pressure also shoots up. And some people, they clench their jaw. They get a tummy ache, they get the digestive problem. They might run to washroom couple of times. Sometimes the libido will drop down, so it will be very difficult to make love with the partners, and they might attract a lot of diseases because the immune system also goes down. So this is like at the physical level, the body starts showing changes when a person is under stress for some prolonged time. And on the mind, what does it happen? On the mind, the effect is like there is a irritability, there is a anger, there is a panic attack, there is a fear, there is I am good for nothing kind of a feeling, there is a sadness, there's this overwhelming, and your mind should be under your control, but it happens reverse. You are under the control of the mind. So in one of the I just remember, because we just added spiritual aspect. When there is one example in one of the Upanishads, Kathopanishad, and also in Bhagavad Gita, they gave this mind which is under our control, and mind without a control. They gave a simile of a chariot and a horse, and the horse, it will see some grass somewhere or something, it will go wherever it wants to. Okay, but if the charioteer is there and he controls the horse with the reins, it will direct where the horse should go, and the chariot is taken to that destination where the charioteer wanted. So the passengers of that chariot would reach the destination. But if we allow the horses to go anywhere they want, then there is a problem. That means the chariot is not going to go to the destination. That means the passengers are not going to the destination. So they liken this to the mind and the senses. If your mind is not under your control, it will go anywhere it wants, wherever the sense objects take. But if the intellect is firm, then that intellect will direct, hey mind, you have to go over here. This is not good for you. You should do this, you shouldn't do this. The intellect directs. Otherwise, mind becomes the master and everything is gone. But over here, the intellect is the master and it controls the mind. So then what happens? The body, the chariot, will go in the correct direction. And we, who are the indwellers over there, we will secure our health. Otherwise, we are going down the hill. So if we remember this example, it gives us a very clear-cut decision-making power, that the mind will go according to its like and dislike. I like this, so I go there. I don't like this person, so I shun away from that person. Whereas the intellect, it tells us between the right and the wrong. Hey mind, you like this, but that's not the right thing to do. This is not the right thing to eat. This is a junk food. This person you dislike, but that person is doing this and he's having this capacity, he's in this. He might look ugly, which is putting you like this, but look at him, what is his capability? And the intellect keeps telling, but if the mind is not listening to intellect, it will just go about it, and the intellect is made to shut up. So the whole gimmick is like this: between the right and the wrong, and between the like and the dislike. The right and the wrong, intellect is the master. The like and the dislike is strong, then the mind is the master, and then we are everywhere. So the stress factor is affecting who is having this loose mental structure, texture, who is not ready to follow certain discipline. Because to be lazy, there is no effort needed. But to do a certain thing on a certain time, there is a self-effort needed. So there is a problem. So certain things have to be trained because there is an effort needed over there. To just sit lazily, what effort you need? Correct. But is that going to lead somewhere? But to do something, to get up and do something, you need that enthusiasm, you need that motivation, and that liking for a discipline. So when we don't hold the right and the wrong, we will go by the like and the dislike, and the problem will start. So then what will happen? Now I feel pity on my own self. And I'm saying, oh God, I'm having all the problems in the world. Look, she's so happy. Look, he's so happy. Look, that person has so much money. That couple has so much, so they are living so happily. My partner is like this. My children are like, we have all kinds of reasons to self pity, to activate more the stress. And then we indulge into wrong things to mask that. So to mask that, the problem is not going to go. So if I'm indulging into vices like, let's say, smoking, drinking, gambling, womanizing, everything, it is probably giving at that moment certain joy, but it is adding up only to the stress, because only a healthy mind can take a healthy decision. When you are into the vices, you are putting one curtain over the right and the wrong. So when you buy that cigarette packet, though the warning and all is over there, the intellect is knowing already, but you go with the mind. Certain drugs, luckily Singapore is very strict, but back in India or something, though it is a crime, but the vastness and the population of the country is so much that you can get away with it. Over here, we cannot get away with it. So the discipline required, you don't fall into it. But once you are on that path to recover, to come back, it's going to be tough, because you have not solved the problem. You have not addressed the problem. You have added and complicated, and now that little one knot was there which we had to just untie it easily. Now it has become a complicated knots, and now what to remove and how to untie that knot is going to get very tough. One of the most common things, I'm sure men also be doing, but I'm not being gender biased or something, but when some women, when they feel stressed, they like to just go up and do some random shopping and come, because they just want their mind to. And some, they just love to eat. So this is between men and women both common. But this shopping thing is there. Like they find some kind of de-stressing way in shopping, but actually it is not. It is just postponing that stress, because afterwards you've purchased the things which you never wanted. It's going to add up to the load only. So that's another aspect. So these are some unhealthy behaviors which people show when they are in stress, thinking that this is going to remove the stress. But it never removes the stress. It only adds on to the stress. It multiplies the problem and creates more ill health in the body, another issue to deal with, of which the person gets more sad later, that, oh, now I'm having this problem. But it is of that one's own doing. The person never realizes. We go ahead. We come to Ayurveda. What does Ayurveda say? As always, Ayurveda is in this beautiful zone of keeping things in balance. There are multiple factors in the body, and we need all of it in balance. There are bioenergies, there are various tissues, even the wastes of the body. Ayurveda has said how the waste balance is also there. Like, what is the right way of the stool, the quantity, the texture, the smell, even of the urine. So even the waste, even of the sweat. So every factor in the body, Ayurveda has kept in certain discipline and throws light in a very minute way that what would happen if this increases, or a particular bioenergy increases or decreases, and what is the impact on other tissues in the body. So, as always, I like to briefly touch in all my talks, most of you have heard, but unless I touch that topic, there won't be a clarity of what we are talking. So we have got 5 senses, correct? That's the way we identify ourselves with the outside world. The eyes go and get the forms, nose goes and gets the smell, ears the sound, the tongue gets the taste, the skin gets the temperature, it gets the sense of touch. So these are only 5 sense organs we have, which is interacting or getting information from the outside world. So in the outside world, these senses are represented through the elements. Like the earth is the grossest part and the space or the ether is the subtlest part. So this grossest earth is denoting the smell aspect, the nose. The water, it denotes the taste aspect, the tongue. The fire denotes the light aspect, the eyes, the forms it catches. The air, it denotes the touch aspect, it stays on the skin. And the ether, the space, denotes the sound aspect, and it is the ears. Now, this is in the outer world. And in the inner world, they combine to form these bioenergies. So the most gross, the earth and the water element, which is the gross or the heaviest, they form the kapha aspect in the body, which is responsible for the binding nature, the lubrication. Correct? Always remember, a dry mud, you cannot bind together unless some liquid element is there into it. Correct? No machine in the world will work without any lubricating agenda. All our joints in the body has got some lubricating fluid over there, which keeps that joint young and going. If this lubricating fluid reduces or it dries up, then we say, oh, we are having some sound in the joints or pain in the joints, or probably the doctor's advice, okay, you take some injection and we have to, this cartilage is there. So we need that some softness. So that is denoted by the kapha aspect. It is the binding nature in the body. Then this water and the fire element, they combine to form the pitta aspect. So this is the only element with the fire. Which one? The pitta is the only bioenergy with the fire element into it. So anything to do with our metabolism, anything to do with our digestion, any heat in the body, any burning sensation in the body, it's all denoted by this pitta aspect. And the other 2 elements, which are the most subtlest form, unseen form, most lightest, that is the vata or the air part in the body, which governs all the movements in the body. So whether it's the opening and closing of the eyelids, the speech, the thought, the hands moving, body moving, neck moving, anything, the food propelling, blood is moving, circulation, every movement in the body is because of this wind energy. Wind is only taking things here and there, and this is the one which allows this pitta and the kapha to function. This little bit introduction is necessary. So we will be able to understand what is the impact of these on our mind. When you need a firmness, there should be some grossness, that binding nature. If things are dry, you will not be firm. You will be wavering. You will be moving from one thought to another. There will be too many doubts. There will be too many questions, whys and whats. Mind will not be at rest. So these bioenergies, this vata, pitta, kapha, if they are in balance, body is in balance. If they increase or decrease, body is going to go into imbalance. So over 5,000 years ago, in Sushruta Samhita, we find this reference, like if a person is sleeping better, then what is the symptom seen in the body? If the person is not sleeping well, then what is seen? So if any individual's pleasure or a sorrow, nourishment or a malnourishment, strength or loss of strength, good intellect or poor memory, sorry for the typo over there, a good libido or a poor libido, in a pleasure in living or sorrow in living. All this is depending upon the sleep. So if a person is sleeping well, that person we can expect to be well nourished person. He's a happy person. There is a good standard of living in that person. The strength would be good, libido would be good, intellect will be good. But if a person is not sleeping well, we would see exactly the opposite properties, that a malnourished person, not so happy, irritable person, there would be some anger coming in, the health will be poor, not interested to make love with the partner. So all this would be, that sleep is responsible. So over here, Ayurveda calls sleep as one of the important legs. So we have how a tripod is there, right? So in a tripod, all the three legs are important. If one leg of the tripod is not there, what happens? It just can't hold your camera. Likewise, for the body, there are three legs which holds the body together. It is called as Ahara, Nidra, and Maithuna. Ahara means the food, what to do, what to take, which is our next topic in the next week. Please do join, because that's going to be the crucial topic and it's the last in this series. There will be many more talks coming, but in this series, the last one we are having next Monday. So that's the ahara aspect, the food aspect. And the modern is so lost with so many diet fads, and one person doesn't know really what to eat now. So there is a total confusion in the society, and all these beautiful advertisers, they come and one person think, oh, I'm not eating this, that means I must be lacking this. And people are their own doctors with the knowledge from the advertisers. So to get the clear idea, please do join next Monday. Do register for the concept of food in Ayurveda for the next Monday talk. So this is one of the leg. The other leg is the sleep. The third I said Maithuna. Maithuna, or they also call as Brahmacharya also. That means it is what should be your stand in the sexual life. So there is again rules and regulations. So hopefully one day we can have a topic related on this aspect, Brahmacharya or Abrahmacharya, the way and the method, or what is Ayurveda's take on sex. So this is one of the beautiful topic, and we should not be shy away from talking about it, because the aspects which Ayurveda has thrown on that is so very brilliant. And Ayurveda called these three as three legs of those tripod on which the body is standing. That means, coming back to today's topic, sleep, if it is good, your body is good. If it is not, you had it, the leg of your tripod is gone, it's not going to stand. So that much importance is there to the sleep. And how do we connect this stress and the sleep? If your mind is continuously working, how will you sleep? A stress just puts off that person, and there are innumerable thoughts coming in, and the person doesn't know how to manage. And the reaction is all this palpitation, aches, pain, not attending to how it should be. Or if that reaction is not there, then go and attach to some of the vices, or some unhealthy behavioral pattern is picked up. So this is the side effect of one leg of the tripod not being okay. It goes ahead and beautifully translates. So this is all, see, the 5,000-year-old knowledge is telling us so many things, because it's a leg, it's that tripod's one leg. So it describes sleep as 6 types. So there are 6 classifications of one. When does one sleep? So in that first one, which is it calls that nishkrishta, means it is the least beneficial kind of a sleep. It's called the tamas sleep. So in a tamasic sleep, the people who sleep because of tamas, so they could be, they are so lonely, they feel they are so depressed, they have this inferiority complex, And such people, so the sleep coming with these thoughts and such people, that sleep is called as a tamasic sleep. Then there is a second type of sleep because of kapha. Kapha, if there is excessive kapha in the body, then the sleep comes. Like in the office, if we have a very nice sumptuous lunch, then we think, okay, we sleep in the office, so we better don't have a proper lunch, and then we munch some sandwich or something. Or in the school, after the recess, if the good food, that means yes. So it is an excess kapha that is generated in the body, and that's why you get sleep. So that is kapha sleep. Third kind of a sleep is out of exhaustion. You've traveled or you have worked so much, troubling the body. So out of exhaustion when the sleep comes. So that's the third kind of a sleep. Fourth is because of the external factor, that you have smelled something or you've taken some medicine. So external factor in Ayurveda, the word is agantu. Sorry, I put over there one Sanskrit word. Oh no, the other words were there also, kapha and tamas. Anyways. The fifth kind is due to some illness. You are suffering, you are having some problem, and because of that problem, the sleep overpasses you each time. So delirium and so many other cases are there. So that is out of illness. And the last is the best sleep. So those who get sleep because it's the time to sleep, when ratri svabhava prabhava. So prabhava. So this sleep is generated out of swabhava, out of the nature. When? In the night. Generating sleep in the daytime is not recommended in Ayurveda. The sleep that comes appropriately at an appropriate time is only a healthy sleep. So this by nature, the sleep which comes in the night is called the best sleep and the most healthiest sleep. Ayurveda doesn't recommend to sleep in the daytime. Those who sleep in the daytime, for them, this kapha, this tamas, and the illness, they will invite, that will make weight gain for people who really don't want to gain weight, or those who are already obese. If you sleep in the daytime, your weight gain will be there. You will increase weight. And for people who have low metabolism, then you will get more problem. There will be more digestive problem if you sleep in the daytime. So Ayurveda doesn't recommend to sleep in the daytime. Then they have told also certain exceptions, like if it is a child, if it is a pregnant woman, if it is an old person, they can sleep in the daytime. And also in the summer season, you can sleep in daytime. And let's say now people who work in night shift. So what to? So in Ayurveda, it is told that they should come back, and how much hours they have stayed awake, half of that time they can sleep, and either they eat light and sleep, or preferred sleep is don't eat anything, first sleep and then get up and eat. So like this also Ayurveda has said. And for all the others, like people like us who don't have much problems and who are not old, who are not pregnant, who are not children, so people like us, there is an option given. It says asina prachalayita, means you can sit and sleep. So you can go on a reclining chair and sleep, but you cannot lie down. So if you want to have that, then one power nap. So this is the way to sleep Ayurveda has. So again, it's not my wisdom. It's the 5,000-year-old wisdom, which gives us this insight, because they have taken sleep as one of the trayopasthamba, traya, three, upasthamba, pillars of our body. So this sleep is given that much importance, and how to sleep, when to sleep, how much to sleep is also recommended. And what are the other kinds of sleep, which is not the Ratri Prabhava, then which comes at the other time, which is not in the night, how to do that. Now we are coming to the end. The various oil therapies are the only best ways to get a good sleep and to de-stress. Those who can apply oil on their whole body on a daily basis, that's the best thing. If not on the daily basis, then do it at least weekly once. Not weekly once, okay, do fortnightly. If not fortnightly, do at least monthly. Otherwise, we have to wait for the festivals like Deepavali or something where oil is definitely put on the body. But it's not that yearly job. So it is we have to put oil in certain way. Soon our workshop is going to come, how to take self-care. So please do join whenever that workshop is going to get announced. It's going to be a whole day workshop. So that time we will be teaching people personally for your personal care, how you have to use oil, in which all parts you need to use oil. So there are so many therapies. I'll not go into that because Shirodhara, Abhyanga, Pirichal, so many things are there. But on your own, so all the therapies you have to rely on the doctor or a clinic. But on the daily thing, when you are not fallen sick and you want to prevent sickness, what you can do is just take coconut oil, 1 palmful, put it on the crown of your head daily night before going to sleep. That's fine. 1 palm. You have some more time. Take little bit of sesame oil, the gingery oil, and rub at the soles, the feet, under of your feet, both feet. That's the best place. Nothing, you have got some more time. Just grease your little finger, the pinky, and put it in your ear superficially, not like a deep thing. Just grease the ear. That's all. Not with the earbud, go deep and all. Just grease. So if you take care of these 3 places, the head, the ear, and the soles of the feet, your de-stress is guaranteed, your sleep is guaranteed. It is an anti-aging therapy told in the books. And you will not feel tired, and your vata will be under control. It will nourish your eyes. Your senses will be sharp. And of course, your skin is going to be very, very healthy. It will not have any wrinkles. So the whole thing of the stress and the sleep not healthy is the explosion of vata. It's gone so high that it's very rapid and your mind is scattered all over the place. And that is the problem. The oil binds it. It prevents the scattering. It reduces the vayu, and you are able to focus. Even for children. So when the newborns or the newly delivered lady, the first thing is you are massaging both the new mother and the new baby. Why? Because they've undergone lot of vata explosion. There is a lot of movement happening in the pelvic region to deliver a baby. Pelvic region is the place of vayu, apana vayu specifically. If you don't do the oiling, you are landing up in the problem. So what problem? There are so many people who don't do. Yes, their vata goes high. There is something called as postpartum depression. Their minds are everywhere, and you will see so many women getting affected post-delivery. And sometimes the digestion, sometimes the bowel, sometimes probably hemorrhoids come up. A lot of things associated with the wind problem. So the best way to control wind is applying oil. There is no other shortcut. There is no other way. Wind is very subtle, not seen. So the modern science has to yet reach over there. For them, everything has to be in black and white. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. So this is a secret 5,000 years ago. So the binding nature of that oil and the roughness, coarseness of that wind, it's opposite. So when we apply the oil, skin being the biggest organ in the body, when we apply the oil, the all over body's vata comes under control very easily. So now we have to see whether we want to pop in a pill to get a sleep, or it is easy to apply the oil. See the simplicity of that remedy. It's not complex. Yeah. Why we are behaving weird when we are stressed? Why my mind is not under control? why there is a jealousy and inferior complex. That fortitude is that firmness, that base, it has to be trained. That vata, that pitta, that kapha, we'll have to train them to stay normal. Like that intellect who is controlling the mind, who's controlling that horse, that rein, it has to be under control. It can't be, oh, it should be as I like, when I like, however I like. No, you will end up in problem, because Ayurveda has not recommended indiscipline anywhere. So this is one just glimpse of the easiest therapy, easily available, inexpensive. You don't need a doctor for it. You start doing this, and you can tell me within 2 weeks that you are sleeping better already. There are so many other aspects of therapy, like you see the small bolus tide kiri and all. That is more if you are having some aches, pains, or more to relax. You can control vata. Oiling and steaming, both in combination, it's the best way to control vata. Snehana and svedana, we say that in Sanskrit, but let's not get into that. Internal medications are there. They are lovely. The two in the picture are my favorite. One is the ashwagandha with that red color fruit, and the other one is jatamamsi. Jatamamsi is one of my most favorite herbs. Of course, there is tulasi in the background, and there is a Brahmi in the background. There are so many internal medications. But my only thing is, do we really need medications? Do we really need the doctor for something which we can do for ourselves? Why we have to go for the external support? Don't get into that breaking and the crushing point where now the doctor is needed. Something which is preventable, that threshold you should not cross, because once the mind goes out of control, it's very tough job. I'll give an example of one of the case which I've seen in the clinic. There was this young girl, and the mind went everywhere, where some trauma of the childhood, then that repeating those thought in the mind and creating visuals and self-suffering. Oh, that time, how many years ago? 20 years ago. Then the personality changed. Then the doctors diagnosed, oh, it's a multiple personality disorder. How many personalities? 5 personalities in one body. Oh my God. Okay, we need to treat. Then went for treatment. Then what? 12 personalities came out. And you should believe me, now she has 52 personalities in her. What a dangerous life. 52 different. There are moments where she behaves like a 5-year-old. There are moments where she becomes a man and she asks for a cigarette and she smokes like a man. Look at the condition of the mind. There is no oil application therapy given. There is no such thought there. There is this analysis that goes with that. And something which was easily solvable has now exploded. And this is a true story over here. So don't blow up a situation. We don't go into that inferior zone. You are the creation of the Lord. It can't be bad. It has to be the best only. So always just say yes. So whenever people ask me, how are you? My answer cannot become fine. It's not just fine. It's awesome. It's going to be fantastic. We have to self-affirm, and the words that come out of our mind has to be affirming words only. Initially, so some people ask me, why, how can I maintain my smile throughout? So how they can do? So how they can do means, first you will have to start faking it. Then it will become your nature. You say, oh, fake smile. Yeah, because if you will sit and cry, nobody wants to hear your sob stories. If you are useful to the society, society wants you. But if you become a burden on the society, people will start avoiding you. When you see people are avoiding you, you'll get all the more depressed. The charge of taking the situation is to be useful to the society, not the other way. To give is better rather than to take. When we are too much on the receptive, receiving thing, it's a burden. Be on the giving. Whatever you have, give. That lightness that will feel on the mind. So these are some spiritual techniques. These are not medical techniques. That oneness in the universe has to be seen. This is a spiritual technique. This is mine, that is yours. When we have that, we are generating a competition, we are generating a jealousy, we are generating a comparison. So, what is the universal vision? It's the divine creation, and I'm a part of a nature. The tree, the animals, the birds, like that, one human being is also part of the nature. But I feel I am superior and I'm not just like a tree or an animal. No, but I'm also creation. When I am in tune with the nature, that oneness is there. There is a lot of, what we can say, it's a eco living. But when I separate myself, that is different and this is different, there the problem is coming. There has to be a spiritual fallback. It's not religious. It's not religious. We don't want any kind of fanatism building into us. We just treat another human being as another human being, in the not with indifferences in the mind, just as I would like to get treated. I treat another person. If I shout, somebody shouts at me and I don't like it, it means I should not shout at the other person. If I think somebody should not lie to me, especially my own people, then I should not lie to another person. If I feel somebody should not cheat me, then I should not cheat somebody else. What I would like to receive from the world, let me be that giver. Spiritual fallback has to be there. So when we are doing this, the mental texture is expanding. But the other way, I want this. How should I pull him down to get up in his position? Mental texture is contra. You are building a stress. That's not universal living. So you're going against the nature. That means there is going to be obstruction. You will face a resistance. And depending upon your strength to face that or the other person, then there is going to be a clash. So it's good always to give. I hope I have some more time. We'll do a small session because this was in my mind, that something to take away. And today being the 8th International Day of Yoga, what we can do as a takeaway, and how do I relax myself, and how do I sleep? So the first thing in the morning, before you leave your bed, and the last thing in the night, before you hit your head to the pillow, just do a little deep breathing technique. Just sit on with a comfortable position, whether it's a cross leg or something. Close the eyes, take a deep breath in with full expansion, and then relax. Do it like this about 5 to 10 times with full inhalation and full exhalation. Those who are able to do with me now, please do it. So inhale deeply and exhale completely. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now we are going to learn how to breathe with alternate nostril. So that is called, in the first list over here, called as Nadi Shuddhi. So it cleanses the channels. How do we do that? So again, sit in a comfortable position. Your left hand in this position, Chin Mudra, and you keep it facing up on your thigh, on the knee. And your right hand, the ring finger and the thumb, you place it on the nose such that the nose is closing the right nostril and the ring finger is closing the left nostril. So you get this movement. Close. Got it? So open, close, this movement. It should happen with the ring finger and the thumb, closing left nostril. While opening the left nostril, close the right nostril. So we need to get this movement. My wrist, my head, nothing else is moving. Hand and all, nothing is moving. Only these two fingers are moving. Closing the left nostril, closing the right nostril, opening the left. This movement where nothing head up and down, only this gently, gently. If you are getting this movement, now I'm showing what happens to the middle finger. Middle finger, you just gently bend it inside and place it on the nose tip. Middle finger is on the nose tip. Now what happens to the index finger? Index finger, you place it in your eyebrow center. So now what is the position? Thumb is on the right nostril. Index finger is in the center of the eyebrow. The middle finger is in the nose. And the ring finger is on your right nostril. Your little finger, you are left like that. Okay? Now, I hope everybody is in this position. Now what you do, your thumb is closing the right nostril and your left nostril is open. You inhale through the left nostril, close the left nostril, open the right nostril, exhale. Inhale through the right nostril, close it, open the left nostril, exhale. So this becomes one cycle. Inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhale through the right, and exhale through the left. This is one cycle. Such multiples of 6 you can do, 6, 12. Now, we will just do 3 rounds of it. When we are doing this, the whole body is steady. The left hand is in Chin Mudra, facing palm upwards. Your eyes should close and your whole attention is on your breath. So we will repeat it. Thumb is closing the right nostril. Index finger is on the eyebrow center. Middle finger is bent in on the nose tip. Right on the ring finger is on the left nostril. It is open. Sit straight, shoulders relaxed, roll back, close your eyes. Don't move any other part. Just inhale through the left, close it, open the right, exhale. Inhale through the right, close it, open the left, exhale. 1 round over. Inhale through the left, close it, open the right nostril, exhale. Inhale through the right, close it, open the left, exhale. Second round over. Inhale through the left, close it, open the right, exhale. Inhale through the right, close it, open the left, exhale. Third round over. It's that simple. So when we are doing, it's a complete inhalation, complete exhalation, and just 3 rounds we have done, and see how the stress over the mind is going. The stress on the facial, it's going. The quality of breath, the quality of awareness, the focus of the mind increasing. These are, very simple techniques sitting at the bed in our house in the comfort we can do without spending our money and get the effects which the fat doctor's fees and the medicines of the lifelong doesn't buy. So this is one aspect where you have cleansed the nadis, the channels from the right and the left nostril, which goes across the spinal column to the base of the spinal column, where the energy called Kundalini lies in a suptavastha, in the sleeping state, unactivated state. Okay, So this nadi, the Ida and the Pingala, they are controlling the heat and the cold in the body. So we should have balance. We should not have excessive cold nor excessive heat. So this is one aspect. The second one written over here in the slide is Brahmary. There are so many kinds, but these two I have selected, which is easy to do, not taking time, simple aspect, but results are very deep. So now let's focus on the Brahmary aspect. Brahmary is what? You take both your thumb and you close the ear. You should not put it in the ear, but on the cross of that ear, close the ear. Then what remains is your index finger that you place over your eyebrow. Then what remains is your middle finger, close it on the eyes. Then what is there? Your ring finger on your nose flares, put it over there, and your little finger is just left like that. So this is our position. The ears, eyes, nose are closed. The teeth are slightly kept like this. Now, we are going to breathe in and out through the nose only. But when we are breathing out, we are going to make a sound. That sound is like a bumblebee. So Brahmari, Brahmara in Sanskrit means bumblebee. So this breathing, because it makes the sound of a bumblebee, it is called as Brahmari. Again, amazing pranayam to de-stress and get good sleep. So thumb closing the ears, index finger on top of your eyes over the eyebrows, middle finger on the eyes, ring finger on the flares of the nose, and we begin. Inhale. Make the sound while exhaling. So when you would do it perfectly, your nose, ears are closed correctly, you will literally hear the bumblebee. And I hope you can hold to these two techniques at least as a practice. And when we meet next Monday, probably you can give a feedback or write to us. Jason can put the email address of how you have experienced it. Then we go ahead with another technique in the yoga is when we mix Ayurveda yoga, we need meditation. In the Vedic kind of a meditation, that's a different level. That is your identification. But what we are trying for the sleep and for the de-stress is nothing but awareness and de-stressing should happen. So there are so many varieties of meditation, but today we are going to do one kind of it, which is holding on the attention to the breath. There is a mantra, there is the chakra meditation, there is transcendental meditation, there is an open-eyed meditation. There are various methods. But for today, for us, for our topic, what we can carry home, we will do just 2 minutes of it. Sit in a very comfortable position. Hold both the hands in this position, facing upwards on your knee. Roll back your shoulders, keep your neck straight, close your eyes gently. Relax your forehead, relax your eyebrows, your eyes are gently closed. Relax all your facial muscles and bear a gentle smile on your face. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring your mind to the breath. Feel every breath that you're taking in And feel every breath that you're letting out. You inhale love. You exhale hatred. You inhale happiness. You exhale sorrows. You inhale peace. You exhale worries. Let the mind be with the breath. Feel every breath that you're taking in and feel every breath that you're letting out. Mind and breath together. If any thought comes in, let it come and go its own course. Don't follow the thought. If you follow one thought, it leads to another. It leads to the third, leads to the fourth, and chains of thoughts are set. We take this opportunity to free ourselves from the chains of constant thoughts that pour in our mind. For now, let the mind be with the breath. Awareness is on the breath, mind and breath going together. Maybe in this moment of silence, with the mind and breath together, for just 1 minute or two. Gently rub your palms. Give that warmth to your eyes. And slowly open your eyes with a big smile. This was just a minute of introducing you to awareness breathing. We can expand our awareness when mind is focused on something, because it's a monkey mind, and you give it a right object, you can direct that chariot. But if you don't give it something, it can go on to any of its fancy thoughts. And maybe you will think of somebody 30 years ago also. And you will relate some episode and it will link you to some future country which is your dream. There is no end. That mind can go to the moon and come back 1,000 times in that 1 minute. So if we train, it's easy. There is only happiness. That self is happiness. That self is love. You are love, you are happiness. There's no place for stress. We go ahead. We'll just wind up with the quick tips. Fix a time. Fix a time when you are going to sleep. Fix a time when you are going to wake up. Let it not be a random. Fix a time to eat. Let it not be at a random hour. Let it be with rhythm with the nature. Sun is brightest at noon time. Let your biggest meal be that time, not at the end of the day. But for the food, please join me for Monday session. Please do register if you have not yet registered. We are going to talk so much on this concept of the food. Fix a time for your exercise. There has to be some minimum exercise. Your peripheral circulation has to increase for your hands, feet, face. Without, simple walking is enough. No need to join any expensive gym, nothing. You walk. What if your condo is having a swimming pool, you walk in the pool. If your knees are hurting or something, there should be some small thing where the body is moving. It should not be sedentary. some sattvic practices like what we did now, a breathing technique or a meditation technique or some yogasanas, some sattvic practice which calms the mind. Intensive exercise, weight training and all, it's good as a physical thing, but on the mind it is not. We are trying to change the texture of the mind, which is now not in our control, and we want it to be in our control, conducive to our ways, our say, so that it comes along with us and not we go with the mind. Make sure your room is kept very clean and drape the pillow covers, bedsheet covers in a lighter colors, not darker colors. While sleeping, the room should be dark, but the bedsheet that you sleep should be light, even if it's white or pink or light blue, something lighter shades, it will clear the mind. The impact is there. Choose your friends brilliantly, somebody who is similar in thinking. So the other word we call it as a satsang. Satsang is, sat is the one who is living in the truth, and sang is the company. So the company of your friends who are thinking in the sattvic lines, you will talk like that. But if the friends are talking of smoking and alcohol and party in which class, your mind is dragged to different senses, like that horse would go anywhere and the chariot would go anywhere. So choose your friends brilliantly. That's your choice. Mentally, please understand that everything you cannot change. You can't have control on all the things. This is a fact. Do we have any control? People in Ukraine, people in Russia, do they have any control? Some earthquake comes, some volcano. People have any control on that? COVID came. Do we have any control on that? Everything we will not have control. So we will have to learn to accept some things. We'll have to make our mind that we can't change certain things. I can't change my nature. Then how can I change my partner's nature? I want to be like this, but I want my partner to be like this, like how in my mind. How it's going to be possible? 4 people in office, 4 people will have different minds. We will have to learn to go together. And if we are going to point out, oh, he's like this, he's like that, she's competitive, this, that, we will see only faults. In that situation, how to rise? That is our texture of mind. We have control to build our mental texture. Then choose a spiritual fallback, like what we have chosen now. Not the vices. They can't be a fallback. They are only adding to your problem. So if anybody is having any vices, it's a very good day today. It is the International Day of Yoga. Please choose this day to cut off, give up your vices and join into some pranayam technique, some meditation technique. Then, of course, yes, develop this vision of oneness and all inclusiveness. Let's not have this feeling of separation, you, me, mine. So then it creates all the more problem. So with this, I end this session. Wishing you all once again a very happy International Day of Yoga. Thank you. Namaste. If anyone has any questions, please to ask. Oh, I see some over there. Okay, it was another. Okay, any questions, any doubts anybody has, please to ask. No questions? That's good. That means the topic has been understood very well. Thank you. So with your permission, now we end this session and see you all on Monday. The topic is the concept of food and Ayurveda. So many things we'll be talking. We'll be talking even the modern diets and the vitamins and things like that. But what Ayurveda has got to say on all that. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you very much.